So by now on this channel, you've probably heard us say many times that RWA is currently the hottest trend in crypto. It goes beyond crypto as well, but the overlap between cryptocurrency technology and real-world assets is especially appealing, and there's just so much potential. It's a hot trend. It's actually very likely to stay hot as well because current projections, this is something else I've said repeatedly, for 2030, that's just 5 years away, the projections range from $16 to $30 trillion as a market, not billion, trillion dollars. And we have no other than Larry Fink, BlackRock's CEO, who's a big fan of tokenization. And all the right people, all the right institutions and organizations are kind of getting on board. So what more really is there to say in order to convince you? So the trend is established, but today we're going to look at a medium cap RWA project, Plume Network. This is very much one of the up and coming RWA projects in the crypto space. We're going to analyze it, we're going to review it, and compare it directly with ONDO Finance. Welcome to the channel. My name is Maddie and this is Altcoin Buzz. All the best of luck. If you choose to invest, I wish you very well. But I'm not a financial or investment advisor. Just remember that. And also remember by extension that this video is not official financial or investment advice. So like I said, Plume Network, whose ticker is PLUM, is all about RWAs, real world assets. It's got some unique features, however, that makes it stand out. Plume is still in its testnet phase, but its mainnet is imminent, and its PLUME token TGE token generation event took place in January of this year, so a couple of months ago. Now, ever since Plume launched, we've seen four very important features. These are, number one, the Plume chain. Existing layer 1 and layer 2 chains are not equipped for RWA requirements. And this really just boils down to scalability, security, and most importantly, compliance. ONDO also launched its own ONDO chain during the recent ONDO summit that happened in New York City, pretty much for the same reasons, actually. The Plume chain is also the first full-stack Layer 1 blockchain. So this accommodates their RWA FI, or real-world asset finance, and this should bring TradFi to DeFi for retail. On the other hand, ONDO Finance caters to institutions, and so you can kind of see Plume as Robinhood, maybe 2.0, whereas ONDO is Wall Street 2.0. The good thing is that they already work together, and we'll be discussing more on that a little bit later. Now, the Plume chain offers three important features. First of all, there's ARC. This is the tokenization engine, and this simplifies bringing RWAs on chain. So for example, it offers compliance workflows. Then there's also Passport for smart wallets. This allows you to store contract code with your EOAs. These are externally owned accounts. And this Passport embeds custody and compliance directly into the wallet. This allows you to stake, collateralize, or integrate your RWAs into DeFi. And the latter opens yield earning options too. So Passport offers kind of a different infrastructure while also staying compliant. Standard wallets, of course, do not offer this. And then at number 3, we have Nexus, which is the data highway that offers efficient real-time data integration. It unlocks all kinds of unique opportunities. For instance, you can bet on economic indicators or leverage tokenized luxury goods. For this, it uses various oracles like Supra, SEDA, or Orichain. So as you're seeing here, all of this is really in a big way geared towards retail, whereas ONDO, on the other hand, offers two yield-bearing stablecoins, those being USDY and OUSG. ONDO backs them both with short-term US treasuries. So Plume Network is still a young project. There were 3 co-founders, Chris Yin, Teddy Pornprinya, and Eugene Shen. And despite being such a young project, it's already got a pretty impressive and extensive ecosystem. Plume currently boasts over 180 dApps and projects, which is pretty significant. Walrus, for example, which is Sui's storage solution, is one of them. Pond is actually one of their newest partners. They offer AI-powered risk intelligence. And so clearly Plume is active in acquiring new partnerships pretty much all the time, seemingly. And for a new project, like I keep saying, that's a positive development. ONDO Finance has been around a little bit longer, since 2021. It currently has just under 100 projects in its ecosystem. And Plume is actually one of them. So it's good to see here that they've partnered up. ONDO brings USDY yield to Plume. And maybe just to clarify here so that there's no confusion, Plume does have its own stablecoin, that's PUSD. You can use this in Plume's RWA FI ecosystem. Now, if we look at Plume's funding, it had 2 rounds, a seed funding round that netted $10 million. And in its recent Series A, Plume managed to raise another $20 million. However, the really big news the other day was that we saw an investment by XZI Labs into Plume Network. This was for an undisclosed figure. And the importance here is that XZI Labs is a big deal. Maybe you haven't heard of that name before, but that's the rebrand of Binance Labs. And so as expected, this pumped up the price of Plume, P-L-U-M-E, to a new all-time high. It was almost 25 cents. It's kind of back down now off that euphoria as I record, but it saw a good pump there. Just for comparison purposes, ONDO Finance raised $46 million in 2021 and 2022. So the current price of Plume right now is down on the day. It sits just below 20 cents, but we have a max supply of 10 billion PLUME, out of which 2 billion, only 20% are in circulation. That's certainly not a great figure, but it's not too bad considering it is a new project. We also have 7% of the supply that was allocated for an airdrop. It should be noted here that vesting for Plume is not that great. Until January 2026, it's fine, but after that, there are some big scheduled unlocks. Other than that, the tokenomics look good, but it's just something to keep in mind. The current price of ONDO sits just above 82 cents with a $2.6 billion market cap. Out of the 10 billion ONDO tokens, ONDO, we have 3.1 billion in circulation. So not all that different from Plume, and also not a really good percentage, 31%, given that this one has been around longer as a project. To recap, Plume and its PLUME token probably ought to be on your radar because they're a pretty hot project in an already super hot sector with massive growth potential. And they're in that mid-cap range right now. They're not too big, but they're getting attention, and they're probably going to get bigger in the near future. You still have a chance. You're not too late, especially on the dip. And certainly if you're optimistic and you're enthusiastic and bullish on RWA as a space, this is a project that you probably ought to consider. Let me know your thoughts about RWA, whether or not you think we're going to hit that $30 trillion mark in just 5 years by 2030. Let me know in the comments below. And also don't forget to take part in the ongoing and lively discussions. Those are happening both on X and Discord. You can find those links and join us in the description below.